Got about 100 yards. Oh, caught one already. Oh, PB. Welcome to a new video. I am back on the bank, and today you join me on a mega reservoir, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. So I've decided to come out and target the big roach that reside in this big water behind me, and I have fished it a few times in the past for the roach, had some nice fish close to £2, but I've not had a 2-pounder out of here, and I really want to try and see if I can catch one. Now, it's got a really good head of mixed species. It's got quite a lot of carp in here. There's loads of bream, and also there are silvers and a few other bits and pieces. There's even the odd catfish, would you believe? But there's a really good head of silvers, and there are some mega roach stocks in here. So I am hoping that I can get amongst a few. So I've just got everything sorted, and we are going to look at getting some rods out in a minute. Now, you might see glimpses of Hugh, because he is there. Now, he's actually filming separately. He is actually filming a carp session. He's decided to come up and do a bit of a carping night. I've come up to do a bit of a roach hunting. So we're going to film both our perspectives separately, because it's obviously different species, and you can pick or choose either one, or watch both of them, because why not? Anyway, I need to get some rods in the pond and get fishing. I've got everything sorted out. The rods are all down there. I've got all the bait ready to go. The home is also up, because we are doing a night, so the home is already sorted as well. I've kind of got everything ready first before I get stuck into the fishing, because if it starts to kick off, it can be pretty hectic. So I need to be organised and ready for action. So let's get some rods out and let's start fishing. Well, second bite I think this is, but it feels like first fish actually on. We had a couple of beeps, a little bit of a drop back, and it started kiting to the left. My guess, because it's not doing a lot, is going to be a bream. It is a bream. Oh, Barry the bream. Well, it's not a bad one. It's a nice slab. See, that's what you want on a feeder rod. Probably average size for in here. They do go quite good sizes. I think 7 or 8 pound. So I wouldn't mind one of them, but we're obviously after the roach. So you can go back, mate. Go and tell the roach to show up. Right, well, I've got the rods out then, and already we've had 2 bites. The first one did me, and the second one was a bream, probably about 3, maybe 4 pound at best. But yeah, sort of average stamp of bream in here, and I'm sure we're going to get plenty of bream, especially if I put some bait in on top of the feeders. If I start putting a bit of spod food out, I'm sure the bream will very quickly come to it. But we're obviously not targeting the bream really, we are after a big roach. But what I have found on here is, in the past, just putting bait in and keeping it going in all the time and just playing the numbers games can sometimes be more beneficial, and you will eventually start to pick up a few big roach if a shoal sort of moves in. So that might end up being the plan, but for the time being I'm just going to rechuck the feeders just with the bait in the feeder and no other bait, and just see how we get on and then go from there basically. So anyway, the rods are back out. I can hear one of them tweaking already, so we might have another bite. But yeah, hopefully we're in with a few bites and we're going to have a nice session. And hopefully we'll see Hugh have a carp or two as well, which would be in his video. So he's over there probably playing on his phone, being nice and productive. And yeah, we'll see how we get on, but let's hope for a few fish. This actually looks like a reasonable roach. Right, first roach, not a monster. I'd say that's probably 10 ounces. So nice fish. He's hooked well as well, so that's a nice start. That we've had a roach. I've just realised I haven't got my discorder on me. Nice. Well, he's not a monster, but that's what we're after. Oh, mate. That way. Hopefully it's another nice roach. Yep. God, that's another nice one. God, what quality fish. They're not the big ones we're after, but it is definitely a nice start. Sweet. Well, as you can see, the light is starting to go, and it's definitely going to be dark very soon, but it's getting towards that sort of prime time now, so I am hoping that the bigger roach might switch on. But we've had a few bites this afternoon. It's been reasonably productive, had a few bream and plenty of roach, just not got the specimen sort of size amongst them. It's been a lot of sort of smaller fish, under a pound basically. But it's been good fun getting a few bites. Hugh's actually had a bit of a result as well. He's fishing next door to my right, and he's had a few fish. He actually had a double take earlier, so I've been helping him out a bit with the filming as well and sorting the fish out, so that's taken me away from obviously concentrating on what I'm doing. But I've put a good bit of bait out with the spods now, just to try and sort of build up a bit of a feeding response. So I've put out about 8 spods, again just ground bait. The ground bait mix and put them in the feeders, but I've also put some hemp and some mini pellet in there, and some old maggots out as well, some old maggots and casters, and basically just put that out. I'm going to keep topping that up and then keep recasting the feeders, and hopefully it's going to build up some food which the fish will move in on, and fingers crossed we'll have some bigger roach move in, and we'll have a big shoal come on us, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's getting towards that time. We'd probably need to have some food and thinking about that, so let's crack on and do that. I'm going to redo the rods actually before I do anything, get some fresh baits out there, get some fresh scent in the water, and let's see if we can catch one of these big monster roach. Right, well, as you can see, it is dark, and it gets dark so early now. I've only been fishing for a few hours in daylight really once I got sorted out, and we've had a few fish, a few bream, a few roach, but nothing massive, nothing specimen size, that's for sure. But it's been nice to get a few bites, but if I'm quite honest, things have just been really going quite badly. We like to try and keep it as real as we can, and it's been a bit of a disaster. Now I'm getting loads of issues with the line twisted on the rod tops. I don't know if it's something wrong with the line, it's actually quite new line, or whether it's something with the rod, or maybe the reel's not balanced out with the rod very well, I don't know, but I'm getting a lot of issues. I've actually cracked off twice trying to cast out where it's got wrapped around the top, but I've not noticed it before it's too late. Yeah, really frustrating. I've also gone to have some dinner and realised I've left my ridge monkey at home, so I've got no utensils or anything with me other than a tiny little spoon for stirring my coffees. So yeah, luckily Hugh is next door, so I've managed to scrounge a bit of stuff off him to make some dinner. But yeah, it has not gone well, and it's been quite frustrating. But we're going to try and stay positive and try and pull it out of the bag, hopefully. And I'm just hoping it turns around and the fishing improves and the issues stop being issues, to be honest. But on a positive note, Hugh's had some nice fish, and it's been cool to see him get a few, so that's still nice to see, even though it's not really going to plan in my swim. But we're going to keep at it, we're going to keep persevering, and hopefully it will turn itself around and start producing a few better fish. So let's keep at it, and fingers crossed it goes good. It's taken a couple of hours into dark to start getting some consistent action, but I do seem to be getting a bite sort of every 10 or 15 minutes now, which isn't too bad. Most of it's bream. There's been the odd roach amongst them, but the roach haven't actually been that big. It's definitely £4 at least. I've had a couple of perch as well. They're not big fish, but they're lovely conditioned fish. So we're slipping back. Go on to grow to a monster, mate. Off you go. We've had a couple of really good bream. That's another pretty nice one. Well, I've just been bringing most of them in to hand like this, to be honest, because where I'm fishing with the rods out in the water, you can literally just grab them, just slip the hook out, and then they're good to go. Oh, that one wants to go. Go on, mate. And off they go. But yeah, I've had quite a few of them now. Got another customer. Yeah, that's quite a thick set one, that. Some of the bites have been very, very subtle, like that, yeah, and that's pulling up tight. Don't know if you can see that. Just pulling up tight there. Oh, just take the pod out with it. Not quite sure how many I've had now. I've had quite a few. Well, there's another one. Off you go, mate. There he is. Well, you can probably see the feeder hanging there. That is because I have just been done an absolute rotter. So essentially, I've managed to get myself around the casting issues. It looks like a change of technique has essentially solved the problem at the moment. That was actually a bit of a heads up from Hugh. He suggested changing the technique, which actually so far has done the job. So hopefully it continues and we're around that problem. But the reason this is hanging here is because I've just lost a really nice roach. So almost what I came for is just dropped off. I can't say it was a PB, but it was definitely over £1.50, getting towards the £2 mark, around that border. Now my PB is just shy of £2, so a £2 is what I'm after. Anything over £2, red letter day. So I don't think it was quite that big, but it was definitely a nice quality fish. So yeah, that was gutting. But anyway, I put that rod back out, sat back down, and not long have I sat back down, the right hand rod's away. Now I picked that one up, I'm playing that, and again, a lot of head shaking. It feels like it could be a roach, and as it's coming in, I'm thinking it feels too heavy. It felt really good, and I just caught sight of it as it rolled about, I don't know, 20, maybe 15 yards out, and just saw that flank of a roach and thought that is a good one. And then the hook come out again. So yes, I was annoyed, is probably the best way to put it, and I had to have a few minutes to calm down, but it is what happens, you know, we don't catch them all. It's just one of those sessions, and that would have been a mega way to turn the session around, but unfortunately it hasn't happened. So anyway, I'm going to get these rods sorted, put a fresh hook length on it, get it back out there, and hopefully we can actually catch a decent roach, because we've definitely come close and there are some decent fish in here. So fingers crossed it happens, but I'm going to get this rod out, I'm going to stick the kettle on and drown in my sorrows, and hopefully the session turns itself around. Let's keep them crossed. Come on, keep them crossed. Let's catch a big one. Come on. Well, it's that time where I'm in the bag and I'm going to get some sleep. I thought I'd finish the video off here because essentially I've reeled all the rods in. I've actually put them in a van and locked everything away, and I'm going to get a proper bit of sleep, to be honest. So hopefully I can get 5 or 6 hours solid sleep, get up for just before first light, and get the rods back out, get some bait back in there, and then fish a good solid few hours in the morning. We've got to be off for about probably 11 o'clock at the latest, really. So hopefully we'll have five hours solid fishing before having to get going. So yeah, that's the plan of attack. The fishing's been pretty good, to be fair. I've had probably 20 bream at least, I would have thought, averaging probably £5. I had quite a lot of roach. I've obviously not filmed it all because a lot of them are small. They're like sort of 8 ounces or so. I'm really gutted I've lost those 2 bigger fish, but yeah, it's just how it is. Unfortunately, the rods just aren't really designed for the job. They're a bit too heavy, and they're not really designed for sort of that head shaking of a roach. But it is what it is. We're making the most of the situation. It started off as a bit of a disaster, but I've managed to sort of get things back on track. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to get in the bag now, or I'm in the bag. I'm going to get my head down, have a bit of kip, wake up nice and fresh. I think Hugh's done the same. To be fair, he's been asleep for about an hour and a half. He was absolutely knackered. So anyway, I'm going to follow suit. So I will see you guys in the morning, and hopefully we can kick things off again and get a few fish under our belt, and hopefully catch one of the big ones. So yeah, I'm going to bed. Good night. Well, good morning then. It is coffee update time. I've not done one of these for quite some time. What would not been night fishing at all recently. Probably a good 3-4 months now, I think it is. But it was nice to do another night on the bank, and to be honest, I had a great sleep because, as I said last time, I did reel the rods in to get some rest. I had a good solid 5-6 hours sleep, so feeling quite refreshed this morning, and ready to get rolling and see if we can put a few more fish on the bank and hopefully hunt down one of these big old roach. But I have just cast the rods out. I didn't film it because the light levels are not fantastic yet, so I've just got the rods out nice and quick to see if we can get that quick bite. I'm going to dig the GoPro out so I can film the action as it hopefully unfolds, and see if we can get that monster. So yes, we've got a few hours fishing before we're going to put off this morning, so hopefully there's enough time to try and put a big roach in the net. So let's see how it goes, and let's polish off the coffee. Well, there we go then. After an absolute disaster start to the session, I have got my first big roach. I put the rod out this morning after having a nice sleep. Second rod that went out, left hand rod, first bite this morning. It's dropped back a bit, and we've had this one. It is a new PB, £2.2, finally broken the £2 mark. Absolutely chuffed with that. That is a wicked fish. Just look at it, absolute chunk of a thing. And yeah, really happy. It's taken me a long time to catch a £2 roach, so I am really happy about that. So but get this one back after a few photos and see if we can catch another one. What a mega fish. Absolutely chuffed with that result. Just taking a few snaps. Let's let her go home. Might need to go out into deep water. Oh, there we go. Boom! Look at the size of it there. Well, I've just slipped that roach back, and I thought I'd show you how I caught it and the tactics I'm using on this session. So that was caught on the feeders, and I actually used the maggot feeders this morning. Now, when I started off, I was using open end feeders, and I was filling it with ground bait, sandwiching some maggots between sort of 2 lots of ground bait in the feeder, and then fishing maggot on the hook. But I actually found I was bumping a few fish off, and after losing a couple of what I think were good roach yesterday evening, I decided to switch to the maggot feeder because it doesn't seem to offer as much sort of resistance, doesn't seem to bounce around as much when you're playing the fish. So yeah, I went in with a maggot feeder. Another reason as well is I've not put any bait out since yesterday night, and the reason for that is it definitely brought the bream in. So I ended up having a run of bream. I've probably had definitely 20 bream, and they're all good sizes, and they're obviously getting on that feed. So instead of putting out feed this morning, I decided to stick just with maggots to hopefully try and pick off a big roach, and that is exactly what's happened. So I'm really happy that that tactics worked. Now, the rigs that I'm using are really simple. I'm using a block end distance feeder, using a distance feeder mainly because I'm obviously chucking out a reasonable way, and also it gets down to the bottom nice and quick because it's weight forward. But this is a 45 gram one. It's one of the big ones from Drenham, so I can get plenty of maggots in there. And I've basically got £6 mainline straight to the swivel on the feeder. I've then got a long kicker pushed onto the top of the swivel, which I was using carp fishing for pushing the rig away. That just keeps the rig away from the actual feeder itself, protects the hook. I've then got 2 float stops trapping a quick change swivel. This is one of the Quorum quick change swivels, which allow me to change my hook lengths nice and quickly, and I can have them pre-tied so it saves a lot of messing around, get the rods fishing nice and fast. And then I've got a really short hook length on there. It's probably about 1.5 inches, and I've found having a shorter hook length is getting me much quicker bites and a much better hook to land ratio. So yes, that's what I've gone with, and essentially I set the hook length just so that the hook's in line with about halfway down the anti-tangle sleeve. That way it can't get caught up on anything, because that's nice and smooth. It can rotate around there on the cast, and there's less chance of it getting caught up. If it was further up, it tends to sort of wrap around the main line. So yeah, that just protects it and lets it go out sitting absolutely perfect. And then I'm literally sticking about 4 maggots on a size 14, which is quite a big hook. It's a carp match hook, but obviously we are fishing for big roach, so I want a nice strong hook. And also I'm getting a lot of bream, and there are some carp in here as well, so I could always pick up one of them. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm just sending that out about 15 wraps, and then that's doing the business. So anyway, let's get it out there. Let's see if we can catch another one. Right, that is the end of the session then. We are going to be calling it quits now. Hugh's packing up as well. Wicked session, loads of bites, and obviously had that mega PB of that £2 plus roach. So that's what we came for, and that's what we caught. So job done. Hugh's had a good session. He's had quite a few. I'm not going to tell you exactly what's happened in his session, but yeah, he's had a good one. So you may have watched that already, but yeah, it was a wicked little result for him. So it's been a nice little social and plenty of fish along the way, so can't complain. But I'm going to head back now. Need to go back and see the family. Going out for a bit of family time this afternoon. I think Hugh's doing exactly the same. So yeah, time to get going. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll be back with you next week for another video, probably on a Tuesday at 6:30 on the evening. So until then, get out, be lucky, remember to enjoy your fishing, fish for something different as well. Don't just go carp fishing. There's plenty of other species out there, as we're trying to show you. So get out there, fish for anything, and enjoy it.